for a minute. That's Mark Benfante. Thank you, Mark. Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. And I am so grateful we get to be together in person and via live stream, which we know will exist forever, even past our lifetimes. Isn't that an interesting thing? Past the lifetime of the physical body anyway. And so we are wrapping up the month of June, celebrating the body within the theme of the year, Living Everyday Wonder. And next week you're going to have a treat because Gail Belluardo is going to be speaking on the 3rd of July with Susan Neat. Not only that, Gail is restarting the Healing Circle, First Friday. So that's this coming Friday. Yay, Gail. And so today we are blessed to have assisting newly licensed practitioners. And installation for her at some point, but here she is. We had to do that, right? Our beloved Lori, who has been studying this teaching for 6 very committed years, and those of you who know her, you can tell, right? You can tell when somebody really dives into this teaching and fully lives it, which of course is a journey for all of us. And we don't compare. So for each of us, it's a different journey. But watching Lori take on this journey and arriving at being a licensed practitioner is just a great blessing for all of us. So she will be doing a treatment express after celebration, which means you get to experience a mini thing with her. Because if you want a maxi thing, you'll have to call her and set up an appointment with her. But it's going to be standing, quick, she knows how to do that, and then you get to have fun with that. And if anybody needs more support, of course, reach out to all of our practitioners. So, let's begin with a spiritual mind treatment, our word for affirmative prayer. So let's close our eyes, if that's comfortable for you. And just allow yourself to withdraw that attention from the outer world to the inner world. That place of stillness, that place of silence. That place of remembering who and what we are and whose we are. That place of truly moving into our heart of hearts and remembering that what's taking place is this beautiful dance with the beloved. Whether we call this God, Buddha, Allah, Jesus, higher power, divine presence, pure grace, it doesn't matter because it has an infinite amount of names. And so we choose one that we resonate with, that allow us to bring us to that place of remembrance and knowing that our body our self with the small s, is part of a greater body, a greater self. It's the well of life itself. And so by turning to that, we experience that deeper connection with life itself. We allow whatever needs and wants to be healed, which means remembering our inherent wholeness. And then we serve by how we show up in the world. And so today we're grateful for this community, grateful for each other, grateful for this particular life, this body, this incarnation, and grateful for our ability to be grateful. And so it is. And so it is. So, a reminder before I forget that there's no yoga on Tuesday. We usually have yoga every fourth Tuesday of the month, but Steve is not available. So those of you who've never joined us for yoga, join us in July or August. We're doing it on Zoom and it's really fun. Today, after the celebration, we have a wonderful first social hour. Facilitated by Kathy, and I guess Mark helped too, but Kathy brought flowers. I'll tell you in a minute why. Look at those beautiful roses. I don't know if you can see them, but they're so pretty. Look at that. Beautiful. It's my birthday. So we are going to move stuff in storage downstairs into another storage space because Brookside Community Church will be renting the space below us to the local library while they renovate. So I have two people who have already offered to help, Cindy and Linda. So anyone else that wants to help, the more the merrier. I don't think it's going to take more than half an hour or max hour, but it will be quick and easy, and Cindy will take the lead. So I'm excited about that. And then we're truly, truly moved in. Isn't that great? So if anybody wants to know more about us online, we have a website, cslmorristown.org, and we're on Twitter, Meetup, Facebook. We have 2 pages. What else? I think that's about it. And so seek us out because it also shows all kinds of things that are happening in our community. I'm very excited to teach a brand new class, a foundational class, the end of July. Flyers are over there. And it's only 5 weeks for those of you that say the classes are too long. 5 weeks and not a lot of homework. All right, and so I want to introduce somebody very special. Somebody that I only recently met and whose name has crossed my path, and I hear only great things. I'm sure there's some real dark stuff. Great things because he truly is making a huge difference in the community for those of the people that are in recovery. So Ken, come on up. Significant gift for him from the sale of our building, and of course I left it in the office. But so I'm going to have you share a little bit about community in crisis, awesome. And I'll be right back.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ken Busgrove. I am Director of Recovery Support for Community in Crisis in Bernardsville. And more importantly to me and everyone that I love and loves me is that I'm a person in sustained recovery, and I have not found it necessary to take a drink or a drug for over a decade now. And you know, for someone with substance use disorder and mental health concerns, that's a big deal. And you know, I look around the room and you know, there's a bunch of friendly faces in this room, and you know, my recovery journey has been non-linear. I've been around for quite a while, and just now I've had 10 years of abstinence-based recovery. But the center offered AA meetings back in the day, back in Morristown, and I would drop in there occasionally. I've known Jean and Kat and Lori for quite a while, and the importance of my recovery journey is that I've always been welcomed. I've always been made to feel welcome and safe and secure. And our program is, the program that I direct is called Community and Connection, and we truly believe that the opposite of addiction is not necessarily abstinence, but it is connection, and today, I truly believe that we're all suffering from disconnection. Coming out of COVID, coming out of quarantine, we've got this disconnectedness, and what's going to help us all is connection. Because there are 4 S's that come from connection. One is we're able to be seen, one is that we're soothed, one is that we feel secure, and one is that we feel safe. And in that environment, we can heal, and we've got a lot of healing to do. And my community, unfortunately, is, the manifestation of maladaption is very often fatal. We deal with a fatal illness, and it is an illness. It is a condition. And unfortunately, that's what we deal with. So my role is to make a safe place where people can come and just feel that they can be themselves. And very often we do it through things like activities. So when you're doing art, and you're doing a gardening project, or you're doing karaoke, you get outside yourself and you're in community, and all of a sudden those conversations happen. We're in a very affluent community where we're physically located. When the CEO is down in the dirt next to the guy that just came out of rehab, and those conversations happen, that's where the connection begins. And I'm grateful to be able to help foster some of that in our community. Lori, one of Lori's sponsees, I've been called many things, but the favorite name I've been called is what one of Lori's sponsees called me, and that's Shepherd Ken. Because, I tend to gather the sheep, and, sometimes it's like herding cats or the goat, or the goat rodeo, but I love all the sheep, I love the white ones and the rainbow colored ones and the brown ones, and especially the black ones, because, I've been a black sheep most of my life. But there was a parable that a Jewish carpenter told 2,000 years ago about the most important sheep, and that's the one that's lost. Mm-hmm. And not to become complacent with the 99. It's to go out and look for the one. And make a safe place for the one, because they need to be welcomed. And when they come back, I believe that I'm the prodigal son of a loving Creator, and my job is to lead His other children home. Mm-hmm. If we all, after the service, we take 30 seconds and scroll through our phones, I'm sure we all have a bunch of ones that we need to reach out to. And I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to have a place to welcome the ones. So, thank you.
It wasn't lost. We have $2,000 for you.
Awesome. Try not to weep publicly because it's not pretty. I say I'm going through menopause.
Weeping publicly is totally permitted. We love it.
Yeah, my emotions run deep, and they run very close to the surface. But thank you. It'll make a difference. It really will. Thank you.
Thank you. And he's happy to talk to you afterwards and has some flyers for you if you want to know more about community in crisis. And now I'm so excited that we have Mark Benfante doing some music for us. But before we do, get ready with your playing. Come on. We forgot to namaste practice. Thank goodness for Lori, because, So what we do is we put our hands together, and then we do a bow to each other saying namaste. And namaste is just a Sanskrit for the divinity in me blesses the divinity in you. So let's do that. Namaste. All right.
This is a song called When I Pray from Daniel Nemo, and I think there's some song sheets out there if you want to sing along. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my
Mark got us on track with cameras and laptops and power cords and what a gift. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There's only one God. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life. That life is perfect. There's only one God. That God. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life. That life is perfect. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life. That life is perfect. Some version thereof. That has been my mantra all week. And we do this mantra, or any mantra for that matter, that brings you back to the truth, until you feel a shift. Any of you who are aware of the world news know that it seems like the world is going to hell in a handbasket. Here we are in 1 week, changing laws around making guns more accessible, but limiting abortion. And whatever your belief is your belief. Stand in it strongly and truly. But remember that whatever wants to be lived in the world is about supporting humanity, not just limiting it. So I could talk here for a while about my opinions, but that's not what this teaching is about. That's not why you're here. That's not why you're on a spiritual path, although it's included into that, right? And so when we see suffering, any kind of suffering in the world, climate change, war, refugees having to leave their home, earthquakes, what do? We go back to the truth. We go back to the mantra until we feel a shift. Because I know for sure that when I'm stuck in the pain, that I'm of no good. I'm not of any service, especially when I claim to be on a spiritual path, right? So it is our spiritual work and our healing work, whatever that is, that becomes the contribution to a greater sense of oneness, a greater awareness that we are all part of the one body, capital O, capital B. And so we bring ourselves back to this understanding that truth is ever available and wants to be simplified and lived by means of us. And that is different for each and every one of us. I can't live yours, and you cannot live mine. But we can inspire each other in how we do that. So what the topic is today is the one body, which represents the one universal mind, God, divine love, grace, the cause of all things, the source of all things, whatever we call that, to keep making that our home base when we feel lost, right? And so whatever that takes, whatever spiritual practice that takes for you, you practice it until. So I should have counted how often I did that mantra. And yes, sometimes I mix up the phrases. But if I had counted it, I don't know, 2 million this week. And so if we think about the one universal body, we think of it as spirit, which is the all-inclusive lover of life, the presence of power, the grace of divine wisdom, right? It's the allness, and within it is the individual, the one body, the my body, the your body. And we've been given this body because our soul needed expression, needed an outlet. The universal soul, of which it is a part of, said, okay, you go do that thing as so-and-so in the United States or in Afghanistan or in Africa. And so the awareness of that is really key, and in that we discover that evolution, our evolution is miraculous. When my mom and dad got together and my mom's egg and my dad's seed met, what a miracle that is. I almost didn't make it. 65 years ago, at 1 in the morning, I was born. Today. It's pretty rare I'm here on my birthday on a Sunday. So I'm really happy to be here. And I'm happy to be 65. An acquaintance of mine said, 65, how old, how awful. And I'm like, okay. I'm grateful that I get to be here. I didn't die this year. It was close, not really, but it could have happened, right? And so, when I was born, I was number 6 of 9. And my mom had a rough time. They made her lie down for like 2 months before I was born. I was born a month early. I was so tiny that I had to be in a incubator for a few months. And my mother would pump her breast milk and get it to the hospital. She tried to get my uncle to take it, but he was like, ew. So I'm sure there's stuff from that, right? But I was very, very wanted and very loved. And then I almost died in a bathtub. So somehow the universe, I think, really wanted me to be here. There's a couple of really scary things that I did in my youth. Drugs is involved. And yet I feel like I belong. I feel safe. I feel protected. I feel guided. I feel guarded. I know there's a reason why I was born in this body as Frankie Timmers in the Netherlands came to the United States, and it's all a part of the miraculousness of life. And it's true for each of us. It's really all of our birthdays today, right? Because each of us are a miracle. Every single day is miraculous. Every single day, you and I are a miracle. Anybody got a mosquito bite this week? Yeah, it's already healed. How does the body know to do that? Last week I talked about a paper cut on my lip, or a few weeks ago, right? Some of you have broken bones. Some of you had different illnesses. Some of you have had heartbreak and you healed. So the miraculousness of the healing process itself is so powerful, because there was once as just a single, what do they call that? A single something cell, an atom, and those atoms from billions of years ago are still in us. And the body and the mind and our consciousness has evolved. That's how miraculous we are. And so I am very, very grateful to now be considered an elder. A baby elder, but an elder. And I feel more alive than I ever have, and I'm more excited about being alive, regardless of what's happening in the world, because I know there is a reason why you and I are alive now, and not in the 1700s, and not in 2500. And so we want to connect with that miraculousness, because the body, our beingness, our uniqueness, is just a temporary instrument. It's a blip on universal time. It's a very short time that we are in this world, even when we're in our 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s. And so the question for us is, how then may I serve? How can I be love as me in the world? And what must I heal that's in the way? Because I truly believe that our burdens and our story of heartache is not why we're here. That's just telling us what wants to be healed, what wants to be known more deeply, what truth wants to be lived. And so when I hear people tell the same story over and over and over and over again, a part of me thinks, what a waste. Because that's not why you're here. You're here to turn that story around and realize that it has gold, that it has a gift, and it's exactly that gift that we are here to live. So in our teaching, we say we need to look through the both and lens. not just the lens of this body, these so many years, this name, this identity, this ego, this mind with a small m, but also the lens of our soul, the part of us that is eternal, the part of us that is evolving, the part of us that is here to love and to serve and to give and to shine and to celebrate. And so we don't deny that life has burdens. Oh no. Or that you have a story. Oh no. But we look at it through the soul's lens and then see it as a privilege, as a gift, as a blessing, as a service. And so we remember that there's always that dance between the burden and our soul's purpose, the dance between the darkness and the light, because I get this subscription called Reasons to Be Cheerful. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Reason to Be Cheerful. It's really great. What's his name?
David Byrne.
David Byrne started it. It's really great. And it tells you regularly all the good that's happening. No different from Fred Rogers, who said, look for the helpers, right? There are always those things happening around us if we are willing to look through a different lens, because the lens that you look through is the experience you shall have, right? So we look through a different lens and we remember the lens of the soul, then it's a whole different thing. Then we see that the sense of separation that we may feel in feeling burdened is just about fear. It's just about where we feel disconnected, where we feel lost. And then it's important for us to remember that that sense of separation creates suffering. That at the level of our soul, there's no suffering. Because there's only love, there's only truth, there's only light, there's only wisdom, there's only the healing presence revealing itself to us. And so it's in that sense of oneness that we remember that love is all there is. That we're here to be that instrument and to work through whatever gets in the way. So then what we say is rise up. One of the things that I posted on Facebook yesterday is that now that we know what the Supreme Court has decided for our bodies, we can rise up because we know how resilient women and many men are to create avenues for women to support, for us to support each other, for women to have the care, medical care that they need, right? And so we're resilient. And that's true for all of us, men, women, everybody, because that's our oneness nature. That's our inherent nature. That's our soul's call. That's what we're here to live and here to be. So for some of you, that means you're going to be a social activist. For some of you, that may mean that you're going to vote. For some of you, that may mean that you're going to volunteer. And for some of you, that's going to mean that you're going to do a hell of a lot more prayer. And so what we do is we listen to that very high call that we each have right now because of what's happening in the world. We're really getting a high call to stand in the truth, to be the instrument, to be of service through the soul lens, and to also remember to take really good care of ourselves. Because I don't know if you know about this, but if you don't go to the well and you give everything away, it's not a pretty picture. I've been there. And I'm sure some of you have. So before we serve, we make sure that we go to the well. And remember that we're here to evolve. Have we evolved in the last 100, 200, 300 years? Some of you might say, well, not as much as I'd like. We've kind of gone back a few years. But yes, we have. Just think about spiritual teachings. Now it's in commercials on TV. When I started here in Morristown, it was still, ooh. Yeah, it's not 100 years ago, but you know. And so then we serve, because service and serving from that high calling, from that oneness soul lens, is being the presence of hope. And I know none of you need any hope because you got it, but a lot of people out there do. And so find ways to be hopeful. It means that we have to be sure that we tune in and we tune up. If you're saying, I have no idea what that is, I don't know how to do that, take a class. Go to a support group. Call a practitioner. Talk to each other. Talk to someone. There's so much support beyond here that's available to us. It's important to tune in. And it's important to tune up. That means that we have to be self-reflective, right? We have to notice where we feel disconnected, where we feel separate, where we don't feel whole. Because it's just saying, I just want to be healed because I want to be a part of the oneness of all life. And so what I've discovered is, with all the grief that I've been feeling in my life, and a lot of it has been lately because of our planet, because of war, because of stupid laws, I realized that grief is just love on the other side that wants to shine through. It's just passion for something or someone that wants to be lived. And so we have to make peace with ourselves. We have to make peace with our bodies. I've realized that hating my body hasn't gotten me anywhere. So I stopped hating it. I stopped loving it. I started taking care of it. And so loving the body is a way of saying, wow, that's just my temporary garb to see through a soul lens, to be love, to serve this planet now in what it's going through, by being a light, by knowing the truth, whatever that means to you. It's about your highest values. Because this is only temporary. We don't get to do this one over again. And if you believe in reincarnation, it won't be the same body, and probably not in the same place. I have a memory from lifetimes ago where I was a very old black woman walking from village to village in Africa. All I could see was my feet and lots of beads around it and the bottom of a walking stick. And so I know that that was a life where I was somebody that went from village to village to call on the rains. And the rains would fall, and I would go to the next village. I don't know if it's true, but so many signs were that, yes, it was. And so that's all connected to this life, right? And many of you know of this because, yes, you've experienced it. So you can think of this life as a prison, or you could think of this life as a temple. Or you could say, you could think of this body as a prison. Or you could think of it as a temple. They will be completely different experiences, right? So there's only one life. This life is my life. This life is
God's life.
God's life. This life is perfect. This life is God's life. This life is my life. This life is perfect. This life is my life. This life is what?
God's life.
Are you sure?
There is one life.
Are you sure? There's only one life, right? Are there 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lives? There's only one life. And that life is whose life?
God's life.
You sure?
And my life.
And then this life is my life.
And it's perfect.
My life is my life. It's God's life. Your life is your life. It's God's life. And that life is perfect. That's a powerful mantra. It's a very powerful mantra. Let's all do it a lot, especially now. The world needs it. All right, so, oh, you know what? There was one more thing I wanted to tell you about, because I think you know it, but I put it in my little book here, and I thought it was important. It takes your body, most of you know this, 365 days to renew itself. This really boggles my mind because I look at the wrinkles on my calves. I'm like, wrinkles on my calf? Where did they come from? But it says our DNA renews itself every 2 months. Your skin rebuilds itself every month. Your blood renews itself in 4 months. Your brain rebuilds itself in 1 year. Your liver rebuilds itself in 6 weeks. Your stomach lining rebuilds itself in 5 days. Your body builds a whole new skeleton in 3 months. So Steve, I know you're in the medical field. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, pretty much true.
But I do know that I don't believe that. So just like you and I, those of us who don't fully believe that or it doesn't demonstrate, that's where we get to come into the oneness of life. And isn't that a blessing, right? All right, so now, Lori, religious science practitioner, licensed CSL practitioner, woo-hoo, is going to bless us with a spiritual practice, and she's going to close then with a treatment.
Good morning, community. I am so honored and grateful to be here this morning. And thank you, Reverend Frankie, for that beautiful, beautiful talk, talking about oneness and our physical bodies as part of the body of God, talking about the lack of separation. I invite you all to join me in a spiritual practice to remind us of all of that. So I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that, and to just open the eye within. And we are going to invite the light of spirit down into our physical being. So from the top of your head, see a glowing, white, healing, rejuvenating, restoring light flowing into your brain, into your cheeks and the back of your eyes, to your nose, to your ears. Your whole head is just glowing with white light. Allow it to flow down your neck, into your shoulders, down your arms. Allow every tissue, every muscle, every bone, every cell of your being to be infused with this white, healing light that I call God, the light of spirit. Feel it flow down your spine, into your organs and every aspect of your being. To your sit bones, all the way down through your legs, glowing, shimmering with vitality, with life, down to your calves, and all the way to your feet. Every cell glowing, vibrating, alive with life itself. Take a moment and feel how that feels. And now I invite you to extend that light, that glowing presence of spirit out beyond your skin. Extend it out into the room, out into the world. See that light emanating from you, shining forth as the Spirit of God. And now I invite you to picture someone else, someone you love, someone you don't love, someone in this room, and see them glowing with the white light of Spirit. And see them emanating this light out past their skin, out into the area around them. And then I invite you to bring your awareness to that beautiful, sacred, and holy space where those two lights merge. Where the light in me merges with the light in you. And in this sacred space, there is no separation. There is no fear. There is no disease. In this sacred place, we are one with God. We are one with God's life. We are one with each other. And from this place, from this different lens, we can shine our light ever brighter, magnifying the light in others with our own light, bouncing back and forth like a mirror until it fills the entire universe with the light and the awareness of our oneness with each other and with God, and that all is love, all is light. And I breathe into that sacred space, so blessed and grateful to know this truth and to have the choice and the ability to merge my light with yours. So I invite you to bring this practice home with you out into your daily lives and to remember the oneness that is as the essence of who and what we are. And as Reverend Frankie said, there's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And it's also all of yours. And I invite you back into the room. And so now is our time for conscious giving. So I invite you all to place your hands over your heart and to know that the law of circulation, the law of giving and receiving, is how we receive our good. And so we give to that which fills our soul. So I invite you all to give from the depths of your being to this center that fills our souls and fills our spirits. You can give with money, with service, with talent, with time, with volunteering, however you are called to give. Just know that the more you give, the more you receive. I know Reverend Frankie likes text to give. I go on the website and hit the donate button. There's envelopes here if you'd like to give in person. But however you want to give from within, give from a heart of abundance, and give knowing that as you give, so you receive. And so, with all of that from this beautiful place of oneness with each other, I am going to close us out with a spiritual mind treatment, which is our word for affirmative prayer. I was going to read a beautiful prayer from the Science of Mind magazine about blessing our body and blessing our feet as they walk forth into the world. And it was very beautiful, and I was very moved to share it. But since this is my first day as a licensed practitioner, I am going to just speak from the heart. So I invite you to close your eyes and to hear these words as if they were your own. Because from this field of oneness with each other, I know that there is one power, one divine creative intelligence, one source of all that is, the Alpha and the Omega, that which beats my heart and breathes my breath, that created everything from the smallest grain of sand to the farthest reaches of the cosmos. This power, this source, this creative mind that I choose to call God exists in me, as me, through me, as it does each one of us. We are each just unique manifestations of this one divine source, here to shine our light and to demonstrate this God, this love, this source in all we think, do, and say. And so right here, right now, I know that we are one in this body of God. I know that we are each here to expand and grow and to serve and to be a shining light in the community of the world that needs us so badly. And I know that this time together here has been sacred and has filled us up so that we are better suited to go out into the world and to be that shining light. I know that is who and what we are. We are one with this God. We are present in that oneness. And we are love incarnate. And so from this place of knowing, of deep conviction and faith, I say thank you. Thank you, universe. Thank you, teaching. Thank you, community, for allowing me to be with you and pray with you and be of service this morning. Thank you, Reverend Frankie, for a beautiful message. Thank you, Ken Busgrove, for joining us today. And for everyone here, thank you. And with this ever grateful heart, with all of the blessings that is within me, I release this word into an ever-present law, knowing that as I think it, speak it, and do truly believe that so it must be. And I invite you to join me in saying, and so it is, amen.